go. Oh, long time no see, everybody. I hope everybody's doing okay. Brunette, what's up? Yeah, it's been a while. I've been MIA for a little while with YouTube. I hope everybody's doing good. Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is the Preacher Channel. The 5 people that are here, you guys are going. You guys already know what this is. You know who I am. You know what it's about. If you don't, you're going to very fast. The title says it all. Are you going to heaven? Right? That's the question. That's that's the question. That's what everybody wants to know, right? That's what everybody talks about. That's especially looking at the world now and the condition that it's in. That is the question of the day. So we're gonna answer that question and a whole bunch more. Got a lot to talk about, a lot to cover. It's been a very wild ride for me for the last year. And I look at it as it has been a year. Look, everybody, 2023 is already over. Oh, we're coming up into that heathen season. It's always heathen season in the United States of America. It seems that they have a new heathen day for every single month that everybody has to pay attention to, and they have to base all their entire consumer activities on. And it's just consumerism at its finest. It's self-righteousness at its ugliest, and it's heathen season. So we're there too. My family does not do heathen days. I don't do heathen days. We don't do Christmas. We don't do Thanksgiving. We don't do Valentine's Day. We don't do heathen days because that's what they are. They're heathen practices. All of them rooted in pagan. Even Thanksgiving has its roots in pagan origin. And so we can't sin. I can't sin. I could do all those things we wanted to, but we just don't. So it's heathen season, and it's also the end of the year. And I figured it was just time. It was just time. That, and I got a couple other things done in my life that I can kind of sort of talk about now a lot more freely than I could before. And I'll go over that too. Kind of let everybody know what's been going on with me for the last year, and why it was, the last few months have been so spotty. And it's not really that it's, it just is what it is. It just is what it is. I needed the time. I needed a whole lot of time. I needed to be, clear-minded and focused for the things that for the things that I've been going through, the things that my family's been going through, for the last few months. And now that that's pretty much over, I'm opened up and able to talk about it, and it's good. It's all good news on my end. As you can see the verses on the screen, the wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and needy and to slay such as be of an upright conversation. But their sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bows shall be broken. Bows shall be broken, however you want to look at it. Their bows shall be broken. And that's what happened in my situation. Not obviously I wasn't the one that getting my bows broken or my own sword going into my own heart. But my adversary in this particular thing, and I say adversary, state of Illinois says co-parent, but my adversary in this particular instance had that happen to her, and good. And it's only much more to come, and I don't really have to do anything for it. I just live my life every day the way I live my life, and it just is what it is. But welcome back, everybody. I don't know who all's with us. Hello, Brunette. I saw you, said something. Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are doing good. It has been a while. We still do need to get Chronicles on here, and I got a lot that I want to get done over the next month or two, but you can consider me back. I've got nothing that I need to be clear-minded and focused for. I'm clear-minded and focused all the time, but I've got nothing really going on that would prevent me from regularly doing what I normally do. And that's my good news for you guys. I have been doing things on a lot more personal level. To the people that are watching this, you don't know me, you don't know, anything about us or what we do. To the people that have been watching this show for the last few years, I have just been doing things on a much more personal level with people. My last couple of months, I've spent. I don't want to say teaching or training or those really aren't the words for it. But I've spent, what up, Savan? Yes, I've spent the last couple of months working with a couple of individuals on a very personal level, just like individual Bible studies, and this is what I did the channel for, right? If you go all the way back to my earliest videos, you will see that within my first couple of months of being live on YouTube, within my first couple of months of putting videos on YouTube, my intentions were not to continue with the channel. My intentions were to put the truth up here, make it available to everybody, give the understanding to you guys, and make it so that if you really wanted it, all you had to do was sit down and read some Bibles, you do some Bible studies, and boom, you're good to go. I've done that with this channel. A lot of people don't know, and I've said it 1,000 times, but on here, on my playlist tab, I'm pretty sure I say nope, I didn't. Okay, let me share the screen real quick. I'm going to show you, because this is what it is. There's just no. Okay, so on my channel, let me zoom in on this a little bit. So I don't know if you guys can see or not. I mean, you should be able to. Yeah, you can see. Okay, so on my channel, if you look here, you see, the live stream we're doing right now, Are You Going to Heaven? Right above that, this is the homepage for the channel. When you go to YouTube, you find me, you click the little subscribe button, the notifications, it'll let you know, whatever. But right here, Are You Going to Heaven? That's the live stream we're doing now. Up here, you notice, this is not rocket science. It says home, videos, shorts, lives, right? Lives. I even put it into a podcast. I put it into a podcast. And playlists. Playlists. That's the tab you go to. I know there's a bunch of stuff here, but it's not hard to find. New Testament read-alongs. Old Testament read-alongs. There's another one called Prophets read-alongs. Where is it? The Prophets read-alongs. Okay. So New Testament read-alongs. Right here. That's the one. That's the one. So when I first viral guy, well, we'll talk about that. So see the verse going up across the bottom of the screen? We'll get there though. So New Testament read-alongs. When I first started this channel, that was my intention, was to make it self-autonomous, right? Make it so it did not need my constant babysitting and did not need me to run it. It didn't need me to do what we're doing now. I wanted it to make it so it was simple, easy, and for you guys, so you can get to the nitty-gritty and figure it out, right? For the people that want to know if they're going to heaven or not, for the people that have any shred of doubt, for the people that want the truth, I wanted to make it so it was so easy, and I didn't have to have anything to do with it. And that's what I did. That is what I did. I had, and this was over 4 years ago, well over 4 years ago. I had the channel birthday was last month. I was going to go live for that night, but I just too much going on, and it is what it is. I've been doing things on a personal level with people, and that's kind of where I wanted to go with it. But the New Testament read-alongs, Old Testament read-alongs, prophet read-alongs, it's just simply reading the Bible with you. And that's what I did. I made it so you could just read along with me. It answers almost every question you could possibly have. And whatever you still have questions on, you can hit me in the comments and I reply. It's all the time. All the time. If I don't get back to you within 8 hours, then something's wrong. So, and I'm very good about keeping contact with everybody that reaches out. Absolutely everybody that reaches out. So I'm very good about that, and I have been. So I made it so I didn't need to do the twice a week. I made it so I didn't have to skip time with my family and the things that I'm doing in my personal life with it. But at the same token, it is something that I do love to do with you guys, and I do like coming up here and doing Bible studies with you. I do like talking to people. I do like, doing what I do. But there was a point in my mind, at least when I started the channel, there was a point where I was going to slowly separate myself from YouTube. And that's kind of where I've been. So for the last year, and I've been doing this on a very personal level with people, very, very, one-on-one. And that's what I'm steering towards now. Right. So I come on YouTube and I do this, and then I deal with all the drama and the bullshit and the garbage in the chat. And we're not doing that. I don't have that tonight yet, at least anyway. Bible guy, I'm not talking about you. And any question you got, just ask, man. But I wanted to steer away from the drama, and I want to focus on the people that really want the truth, the ones that want to learn, the ones that want to know, not the people who think they already have it figured out, right? But the ones who want to get it all figured out. And those are the people that I wanted to focus on. And that's what I've been doing for my last few months. And I encourage you guys, if you've got questions, if you want to know, reach out, hit me up in the comments. Like I said, if I don't get back to you in 8 to 12 hours, something's wrong. I'll usually get back to you within an hour. Reach out. I'm very flexible, very able to, bend my schedule at your will to serve you. And that's what it is, being a believer, is to serve. And so that's what I've been doing. That's what I intend on continuing to do. And that's what we're doing here tonight. So it's really simple stuff. It's really, really simple stuff. I made it so it's so easy. You can just do a read along. I've got almost the entire Bible on here. We're only short a couple of books, and I'm going to have those done within the next couple of months. It's time. It's got to happen, and it's coming. So, moving on. Right? Who's this? Okay. All right. Told this dude 100 times. Christians celebrating Christmas are no more pagan than our churches. Than churches who get. Yeah, that's Heathen Day. That's why I call it Heathen Day. Christmas is Heathen Day. I don't care what anybody says. It is Heathen Day. And you'll notice all the governments are intertwined into it. You'll notice that everybody in the world, you've got everybody from the top to the bottom. They're all putting up that heathen tree. They're all worshiping that heathen tree. They're all worshiping their heathen shit. And that's... It's just what it is. It just is what it is. You try and tell them, and then they get defensive. Oh, I've got something really good for you guys tonight. This is going to be good. So, it's all just heathen shit. My dog's barking in his sleep. I love when I do that. Okay, so it's all just heathen shit, and that's what we're going to get to. I mean, tonight's going to be a good night. I've got a really good show planned for you guys. I'm excited. Hope you guys, it's been a while. I'm glad to see you. It just is what it is. Actually, Christmas is mentioned in the Bible. I'll show you right here. It's in Jeremiah chapter 10. He says, "Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain, for one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of a workman with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and hammers that it move not." This right here. And what they're talking about Yule, but I mean, it's Christmas. That's their heathen day, their heathen traditions. That's what God's like, learn not the way of the heathen. A believer can do whatever a believer wants to do. I can put up a tree and put up lights and decorate my house and put out a 7-foot Santa, and I can go the whole route. It doesn't matter. I'm not under any law. But why would I? Why would I, knowing what I know? There's just no way. There's just no way. I'm going to raise my kids to understand what's going on around them and to be able to discern between real and fake. And for me, I think each year that goes by, right, even with my little ones, because I've got a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old, and they see all the heathen kids doing all their heathen stuff. They see it all over Roblox and Minecraft and whatever they're playing. They see it on TV, they see it in the stores, and they always ask, they want to know what's up with it. And I use it as an opportunity to teach my kids that they're special, that God favors them, and that, this is what the heathens have, this is what they get, this is their reward. They get to have all that now, whereas we're different. We're set aside. We don't participate in that. We don't do that. And I teach I use it as an opportunity to teach my kids that they really are special, and they really fucking are. So, but we'll get into all that. Anyway, it is in the Bible. But the question, are you going to heaven? It's the question of the day. And I'm asking this question because I literally just had to explain this on the stand to a judge 3 days ago, right? Because this is one of the things that came up in my court case, is that that I preach and what my faith is and where I stand. And I challenge anybody, if anybody, whoever's out there, if you think I'm wrong, prove it. Prove I'm wrong. Let's have a discussion about it. I'm all for it. I have no problem with that. But the question, are you going to heaven? You first have to understand, one, it's not me telling you, right? I'm just the messenger. I'm not here to judge you. I personally don't care what your decisions are. If you choose not to listen, you don't have to. That's your business. You do you. I'm going to do Bible. So 1 John chapter 3, verse 8 is very clear. He says right here, he that committeth sin is of the devil. For the devil sinneth from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. So right here, he that committeth sin is of the devil, for the devil sinneth from the beginning. If you still sin, you're not going to heaven. Period. Real believers cannot sin. It's physically impossible. Not in their body, not in their soul. Not anyway. It's not possible. Real believers cannot sin. So to answer that question real fast, honestly, I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about your feelings. All right, good job, viral guy. He that committeth sin is of the devil, period. And that's just step one. That's just step one. Getting rid of sin, that's just step one. The Bible is the instructions to make somebody perfect. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16 and 17. Right here. All scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of God may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. That's it. It's very, very, very simple. That you may be perfect. And that's what the Bible is for. And that's what we that's what we show people in the Bible, is how to be perfect. I don't, try to figure out a good starting point for where I'm going to start all this, because this has been a year-long thing for me, and I'm finally get to talk about it. This was one of the things that came up in my court case, right? As a believer, for the last 5 years, my family's just been getting shit on for the Bible. Shit on. I've paid almost $20,000 in legal fees in the last 5 years with the Bible. $20,000 in legal fees because of preaching the Bible. And so, and you wouldn't think that could happen in America, but it is. It does. Happens every fucking day here, at least in my house, kind of a big deal. And that was something that came up in the report against me, even though it really isn't against me. Saying, oh, he said so-and-so isn't going to heaven. I didn't say so-and-so wasn't going to heaven. The Bible says whether you're going to heaven or not. The question is on the individual is, are you going to listen to the Bible and get over it and get through it and overcome it? Or are you going to ignore the Bible, do it your way, and then end up in hell anyway? And that's the question. I mean, that's the question that I pose to people. I'm not here to worry about your feelings. I don't give a fuck about your feelings. It's not my job to. My job is to get you saved. And sometimes, you got to tell somebody something they don't want to hear. And it's on you. It's on you, the individual. It's on you, the viewer. It's on you, the person that I'm interacting with. It's on you, whoever you may be, if you're going to listen or not. If you're not going to listen, then keep serving sin. Keep serving sin. There's plenty of people out there that have rejected what we said, that stalk the shit out of me, really. Excuse me. There's plenty of people out there that rejected it, that still serve sin. Maybe they're happy in their lives with that. Good for them. But in the end, the verses aren't going to change. So my job isn't to worry about your feelings and how it's going to affect you when I tell you. My job is just to tell you, and I'm going to, and I don't care what the consequences for doing so are. I really just don't, because my job is to trust the book and not fear man, and that's what I'm going to do. Right here, Bible guys got it right. I'm guessing this is Milo. Whosoever abideth in him sinneth not. Whoever sinneth hath not seen him, neither known him. 1 John 3:6. Beautiful verse. Whoever sins has not seen him, neither known him. It's very simple. Whoever sins has not seen him, neither known him. I can't sin. Believers can't sin. And it's the next verse after verse 8. It's in there. I mean, that's it. That's what it is. There's no getting around it. Right here. Whosoever is born of God doth not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin because he's born of God. Okay, so it's not Milo. All right, cool. Yeah. So that's what it is. That's what it is. Real believers cannot sin. Sinners go to hell. So if you still sin, you're not going to heaven. If you want to go to heaven, it's time to get to work. Moshe, if you still sin, you're of the devil. It's your problem, man. You're either going to swallow your pride or you're not. I'm not. There's no negotiation here. It's not negotiable. Like I said, I've been working with some people on a personal level, on a very personal level. That is my intent to continue doing. I want to get the rest of the books up here. I will do lives, but it's not going to be. I'm not going back. I don't think I'm going back to a regular 2-day-a-week schedule. At least not anytime soon, if ever. I'm just at that point in my ministry where, I'm branching out. I stay busy. I'm always busy, and that's, plus with all my kids, family, all the shit I got going on. That's what I'm encouraging everybody to do. If you're interested, if you really want the truth, hit me up in the comments. I'll give you my Skype. We can, connect personally. I'm not in this to spend hours and hours and hours up here arguing with people over semantics. I just go by what the verses say. That's it. That's my faith. My faith is in the book. The verses mean what they say. I'm not negotiating with it. It's not negotiable. You can make all the excuses for yourself that you want, but if you sin again, you prove who you serve. I can't sin. I'm saved. Viral guy, putting the Bible back in school, putting the Bible in school doesn't mean that they're going to get saved. There's only 144,000 that are going to be saved. That's it. And that's going all the way back. The numbers are really, it's a scary thought. But when you look at the numbers and you look at when he did it with Noah, when God did it with Noah, only 8 people survived it. 8 people, 8 survived the end of the world last time. 8. 8. And there was like 2-3 billion people on the earth at that point. So it's not going to be much different. 144,000 is actually quite a lot. Going all the way back to Noah, really. Going all the way back to Noah, Abraham, those guys. Abraham believed what I believe. I'm of the faith of Abraham. That's, and that gets tied into like Quran and dealing with Muslims and that too. I'm of the faith of Abraham. I just go by the book. So I encourage you guys, if you're interested, I don't ask for anything from anybody ever, never have. If you, other than, asking if people want, they can pitch in to help us get Bibles, because we give away Bibles. But other than that, I don't ask anybody for anything. There's no membership requirements other than belief. And to actually, if you say you're a believer, to be one, to actually be one, be a doer, not a hearer only. Risk everything for it. And that's what it is. I mean, that's what being a believer is being willing to lose everything to preach the gospel to somebody. And that's, I'll show you right here. James 1:22. He says, but be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. You got to be a doer, not just a hearer. And the Bible is not I read a chapter a day or I read a book a day. No, it's a way of life. It's not, you can't honor God. You're not honoring him by spending time in his word. He honored you by dying on the cross. And you're either in it to win it or you're not. There's no middle ground. It's the best thing in the world. So I do highly encourage you guys, reach out. I like the personal level, personal touch with doing things. It's less drama, less interference. Counting what's on the earth right now, probably somewhere between 15 and 17 billion. It's my guesstimation. Somewhere in there. And out of all of them, only 144,000. Yes. No, whatever. Doesn't matter. What matters is what the Bible says, man. It just is what it is. And look, all them people, whoever sins is of the devil. That's not going away ever. And it never will. Isaiah 5:14, therefore hell hath enlarged herself and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory and their multitude and their pomp, and he that rejoices shall descend into it. It doesn't matter to me how many people lived from then till now. What matters to me is how many people are going by the book, and that's all that matters. I believe that there were beasts of that size. Yes. And I believe that they were wiped out in the flood. Yes. And science backs that up 1,000%. So, I mean, just all in all, are you going to heaven? If you still sin, the answer is no, you're not. And it's not me saying that. That's the Bible. That's what I go by. And if you want to bet against it, that's your business. If you want to keep serving sin, that's your business. Every time you sin, you prove who you serve. That's your business. I'm not ever going to fucking apologize for preaching the truth. Not to anybody. Not ever. It's never going to happen. And if you don't like it, you're the problem, not me. If you don't like it, you're the problem, not the Bible. They are actually. The Leviathan and the Behemoth. They are in the Bible. Actually, it's closer to 9 today. And if you look at the rate of population growth, my number would be pretty accurate. You got to look at the rate of population growth over the span from going back. And if you actually reverse the equation for it, how we got to this number today, and you do it in reverse, the rate of population growth, given whatever year, like, counting for the baby boomers and all of that, it does add up. It does go back to a 6,000-year-old Earth. And it goes back to an Adam and an Eve. So, I mean, it just is what it is. None of that has anything to do with the price of rice in China right now. The question is, are you going to heaven? And the answer is, if you still sin, you are not. So all that being said, that's what I've been up to. I mean, where this all started. So 4.5 years ago, let's go back. The videos are all on here. I've got, I've documented everything. I have everything documented to a T. My ministry is proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. 4.5 years ago, I became a believer, a real one. I sat down and pretty much memorized the Bible, figure out how it worked. Was given the understanding of it. There's no other way for me to put it. Was given the understanding of it. 18 hours a day, 4 months, just reading over and over and over and over and over and over and over. I sought him with all my heart. That's what he says in Jeremiah 29:13. And you shall seek me, and you shall find me if you seek, and you shall find me if you seek me with all your heart. Right here, Jeremiah 29:13. One of my favorite verses. It's, something I point people to when they come to me and they want to learn it. It's when you want to learn it, you got to put down everything. It's putting down everything else, putting down your YouTube, putting down everything, and spending a month, 2 months, 3 months reading the Bible over and 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 learning it inside and out, and putting together the beautiful puzzle that is the book. Jeremiah 29:13, and you shall seek me and find me when you shall search for me with all your heart. And this is the big one. This is a big one for me, because the people that come to me and they're like, well, I read a chapter a day, or I read a book a day, even after we show them the truth, even after we show them, what Jesus did in reconciling all things. And, even after that, they'll be like, oh, well, I only read a book a day. You're not going to cut it. You're never going to understand everything doing it that way. It's just not going to happen. You need to, it's when he says search for me with all your heart, he meant it, he meant it. So it's an all your heart deal. And I can't, that to me is kind of a big thing. So if you come to me and you're like, hey, I want to learn it, I've got no problem showing you, but I expect it to a certain level that I expect that you be serious. And that's really it. That's all I ask, is that if you're going to come to me and say, hey, I want to learn it, what do I got to do? Be serious. That's numero uno. But yes, that is what I'm encouraging everybody to do, is to reach out to me in the comments, hit me up personally. I'll gladly do Bible studies with you every day if you need it. I'll sit and read with you. I'll sit and listen to you. Well, I'll sit and listen to you read, and show you where everything goes, and boom, 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 whatever you need. I'm here to serve you. But you shall seek me and find me when you shall search for me with all your heart. All your heart. This means put down your YouTube, put down the shit you got going on, and pick up the Bible. If you got a job, awesome. Go to work, read on your breaks, read when you get home. Put YouTube away for a month. Put down TikTok, put down Facebook, put this shit down. It's not hard. I mean, it's really, really not hard to do. I do it every day. Look, I mean, I went from doing YouTube, almost every day for 4 years to just done. Now I spend all my day doing Bible and working with people on a personal level. You be an arbiter of your own body, learn how to control yourself. Give him all your heart. Learn it. Then you have the rest of your lives to do whatever you want. You're not guaranteed the rest of your life to learn the book, though. So learn the book first and then live the rest of your life. That should be priorities. Well, the problem with the Jehovah's Witnesses is they still sin. The problem with the Jehovah's Witnesses is once they got to 144,000, they started making excuses, right? The problem with the Jehovah's Witnesses is they lie. I don't line up with the Jehovah's Witnesses. I line up with the Bible. They don't line up with the Bible. That's the difference. And the church witnesses Christianity for the first 2,500 years never taught the 144,000. Yes, they did. It's in the Bible. The Bible's taught it for the last 6,000 years. Just stop. Just stop. Stop making excuses, man. That's what it is. Okay, so we're going to get into this tonight. I'm very glad, very excited. I have a video for you guys. I have an outside of the box video to show you the inside of the box in dealing with people. And it's good. This is going to be good. You're going to kick out of this. In doing this with people, this is what I run into the worst. This is what I run into the most. It doesn't matter how you approach it with somebody. Okay. And this is what I tell everybody when they're getting into this. They're like, well, how do you bring it up with somebody? You can do it however you want. It doesn't matter. When you get to 1 John 3:8, you could show somebody the entire Bible. If you don't show them 1 John 3:8, you're lying to them. If you don't show them 1 John 3:6, you're lying to them. You're hiding shit from them. You're not telling them the truth, right? 1 John 3:6 says, whosoever abideth in him sinneth not. Whosoever sinneth hath not seen him, neither known him. Whoever sins has not seen him, neither known him. Period. If you don't show somebody that, you're not able to show them the truth. Because you can show them till you're blue in the face that Jesus reconciled all things. They're not going to know what that means. They're not going to know what that means for them unless you show them that they weren't saved to begin with and that that's what Jesus did to save them. You can't give somebody a solution without first showing them the problem. I once did a series on how to do this with somebody, how to walk somebody through, I forgot the name of the actual series. It was like, let me see. It wasn't that long ago, actually. It wasn't that long ago at all. Would have been Gospel 101, Gospel 102. These two, preaching the gospel, converting the sinners. Okay, hang on. I got them on the screen. Let me switch this out. There we go. See where it says Gospel 101? Right here. This one and this one. I walked you through all the steps to walk somebody through this. And it's a lot like sales, right? It's exactly like sales, to be honest. There is nothing different between sales. I mean, whatever steps to the sale you want to use, whatever processes you want to use to do so, there's nothing different between sales and preaching. Zero. They're both the same. And it's for real preachers and for the fake ones, right? Because the heathen buildings, the churches, whatever, the heathen buildings, when you go there, they have to sell you some form of idea that prompts you to put money in the plate. They have to keep you interested in order to keep your attention, to keep you coming back, to keep you giving money. They have to, but they do it from a deception standpoint. They do it from a filthy lucre standpoint. They want your money. We don't. I don't want your money. I don't want shit from you. If anything, I want to give you money and send you a Bible. Find me a heathen building that does that. Find me a fucking cult that does that. You don't find that ever. That don't exist. So There's a big difference between us and them, but it is the same logic behind it, right? It's all the same. It's all sales. Everything is it's all sales. It's all there's a process to all of it, whether it's you're preaching them lies or you're preaching them the truth. It's still sales. It's still getting their attention, holding their attention, and keeping them there, right? That's what it is. And it for doing it the real way, for showing them the real truth, you're going to have obstacles you have to overcome. You don't have that in the heathen building, right? Anybody can walk through the door of a heathen building and they'll make you feel special. They'll make you, they'll sell you whatever it is you want them to sell you. They'll tell you what you want to hear so that you'll keep putting money in the plate. And that's the lie, right? That's the ones that lie to you. You go to the heathen building, they don't show you. What they won't show you in a heathen building is 1 John 3:8. They won't show it to you. And if they do, they'll make excuses. They will instantly negate. They will instantly separate themselves from that verse. They might say, well, 1 John chapter 3, and they'll read the whole chapter, and they'll just fly over it. They won't acknowledge it. They won't stop. They won't talk about it. Or they'll stop and they'll talk about it, and then they'll start making excuses on how it doesn't apply to you. It does. He that committed sin is of the devil, period. If you don't show somebody this verse, you're lying to them. If you're going to preach the truth and you don't show somebody this verse, you're lying to them. You have to show them this verse. And the verse means what it says, right? So when I say it's like sales, if you just bought a brand new set of kitchen knives, you're not going to be looking for new kitchen knives, right? So what if you meet a salesman at a store and he's got a knife set that's 1,000 times better than the one you just bought? You just bought one that you think is good, so you think you don't need the one he's selling. But the one he's selling, let's say the one he's selling is actually cheaper than what you just bought. It's 1,000 times better, and they stay sharp for life, right? So you just bought a shitty knife set thinking it was good. And I'm using this as an example of what it's like dealing with a sinner who already thinks they're believers, right? So you just bought a shitty knife set, but you think it's good. But your knives will get dull in a month. You'll be sharpening them all the time. They'll get chips, cracks, all this stuff. But you just bought them, so you think you're good. And then you see this guy selling a knife set in the store that's 10,000 times better than yours and cheaper than what you just paid. His job has to be to overcome the fact that you just bought a knife set, right? That salesman's going to have a hard job. And so preaching the truth is going to be like being that salesman, right? And everybody that you talk to just bought the new knives. They just bought a new knife set, right? And that's the hardest part I have found doing this the last 4 years. Is that's the best way to compare this. That is the 1,000% best way to compare preaching the truth to the people who already believe the lies. Very hard to do. But I've got a video and I'm going to show you, and this is going to be good. So let's go to here. I have to find it. I think I liked it, or I put it on my watch later list. I don't know. Let me see. No. None of these are it. Okay. So let's see. Maybe I put it on my liked list. Liked videos. There it is. Here it is. All right. This you guys are going to like. So what this is, this is a video. Ooh, I hope you guys can hear it. You should be able to. Brunette, can you let me know if you were able to hear it? This is a video. You can tell by the title up at the top left. Legal drunk drivers from the 1960s. This is a black and white. This is from before drinking and driving was illegal, right? And I saw this and I was like, boom, this is the best way to show people. Okay. So the question tonight on the title was, are you going to heaven? The verse that I showed you in response to that is 1 John 3:8. He that committeth sin is of the devil. So if you still sin, obviously you're not going to heaven. That's the reality, right? That's the raw reality. That is exactly that is the truth. If you still sin, you are of the devil. There's no question about it. Zero. If you were to come to my house and I asked you, do you still sin? And you said yes, I'm going to tell you to your face, you are of the devil. If we were to see each other in public and you tried to put your hands on it, nope, keep your distance. I don't play with this shit, right? So if you sin, you're of the devil. If you sin, you're not going to heaven. When confronting people with the facts, what you're about to see in this video is how they react. And this is everybody that still sins, everybody that I've ever talked to. This is generally 99.9% of the time the reaction that I get. Okay. And this, I want you to just understand. It's a good video. I think you guys will enjoy it anyway. It's kind of funny. But I mean, this is from before. This was literally taken, I think, 3 or 4 nights before drinking and driving was made illegal back in the 1960s. I hope you enjoy.
World in Action anticipated breathalyzer tests in Britain by 2 days. On Friday night, we took regulation breathalyzers supplied by the Home Office to the Green Dragon at Shenfield, a typical motorist pub in Essex. Statistics show that in Britain last year, drink played a part in 13,000 fatal or serious accidents. Breathalyzer tests have been introduced in an effort to reduce that number.
Okay, so notice how he said in 1 year, hang on, let's replay it. This is the fact. Okay.
Accidents. Drink played a part in 13,000 fatal or serious accidents.
Drinking played a part in 13,000 fatal and serious accidents, car accidents, in 1 year in Britain. So they decided we're going to make it illegal. That was the fact. That's the fact. 1 John 3:8, whoever commits sin is of the devil. That's the fact. Now watch.
Breathalyzer tests have been introduced in an effort to reduce that number.
I think it's fairly diabolical because it doesn't take any account, for example, of the pedestrian who's had too much to drink. He could cause an accident, but he doesn't get tested. It's the driver who gets tested, and I think that's unfair.
What do you think are your chances of getting away with it if you've had 1 over the 8?
Well, it's not 1 over the 8. 1 over the green crystal, perhaps. I think very good. I think because I will drive no differently than I do now, and it's never attracted police attention up to now.
But the questions being asked about the tests are they accurate? Have the police the men and the means to enforce the law? And will they be effective as a deterrent?
Time, my lords, ladies, and the gentlemen, please.
Do you mind blowing into this bag before you drive?
Certainly not.
1 big blow. Fill it right up. Okay, let's have a look. How many drinks have you had tonight?
3 pints.
3 pints. Well, look, I'm afraid you're not sober anymore.
Oh.
Are you driving home tonight?
Yes.
Well, on Monday night, that'll be illegal.
Well,
Do you think you'll still drive home on Monday night?
no, not if that's like it.
Well, 3 pints isn't much, is
It
it?
isn't very much, no.
But do you think you're still, perfectly capable of driving?
Quite capable, yes.
You don't sound very capable.
Well, I should be.
I contend that I'm perfectly fit to drive a car.
But you can't defy the law. It's a law of the land now.
That may be. It may be the law of the land, but I contend that I'm a fit and proper person to drive a motor car.
Barbara Castle says that The only rule is to not drink at all. Now, you're saying that you can. Why should you be so special?
Well, what does she know about it anyway?
Well, do you know that you're capable of driving?
I'm convinced that I'm capable of driving. I've done this for years now.
I don't see that I am. As I say, for many, many years I've drove with far more liquor in me than I have now. And I've driven in Kenya, in Uganda, down in South Africa. And as I say, and I still feel that I am capable of driving this car home.
So you're going to drive home tonight and you're not going to change your drinking habits at all?
Certainly not.
All right, let's have a look. You're drunk. You're not capable of driving. Now, what are you going to do about it?
Well, quite honestly, I don't feel drunk. I mean, this is the point.
But this is the law of the land.
Yes,
you
I
cannot
do
drink
realise
and
this.
drive anymore over this limit.
I see. Oh, well.
Right. But will you do this when the law becomes in force on Monday?
Well, I wonder whether they'll sort of pick on the people like myself.
But you're drunk.
Oh, God. That's the way it goes.
Well, tell me what you think about this law.
Well, I don't think it's... Well, no, basically, it's probably quite a good law because, you know, anything to prevent accidents on the road I can't agree with. But it obviously, you know, it's different with different people. And some people get drunk on a small gin. Other people take on 15 pints before they get drunk.
But it's aimed at ordinary people like you and me, not alcoholics.
Yes, well, this is the trouble. I mean, what can I say? I'm drunk.
Well, if that's this law in...
Brunette, I hope you're starting to see along the lines of what I'm showing you, right? The fact is that 13,000 people the previous year to alcohol being made, you know, drinking and driving being made illegal in Britain, 13,000 fatal accidents in the previous year. The fact that they were making it illegal, the fact that if you blew in the bag, if a couple days after this you were going to jail, all these facts, these people were faced with. They were shown the facts. And what did they do? All of them. Blame somebody else. Not going to apply to me. I'm perfectly fine to drive. They were met with the facts. And what did they do? Their pride kicked in. And they, not for me. Oh, I'm okay to drive. I can drive. The one dude was slurring so bad. The guy's like, you don't sound like you're able to drive. He's like, well, I should. Like, and you see that, I mean, you still see this, like the drinking and driving attitude. You still see this today. You still see this today. I was one of these fucking idiots 15 years ago. I had a DUI in 2012. And that was the last time. That was it. I don't drink and drive. I just don't drink and drive. I'm happy without a license for right now. I'll be getting it back hopefully this year. I could go tomorrow and get it. I just don't have the cash. But I'm in no rush. I'm in no rush because I don't like cars. I don't like being in cars. I've had, you know, just too many close calls in my life. And cars and me, the only time me and cars mix is when I'm selling them. I can sell cars. I love cars. I love cars a lot. You know, how they work, how they function, all the parts. I fucking love cars. But as far as loving driving, no, not so much. So but what I'm showing you here is the facts were the facts. The fact, 13,000 people died the year before. The fact, drinking and driving was being made illegal. And then showing the people the facts, they instantly went into defensive mode, and it wasn't for them. Oh, I can drive. They failed the breathalyzer, and then they still got in their cars and drove. They still drove. This is the same thing. This, showing somebody 1 John 3:8, that's what you're going to be met with. It applies to everybody, just not to them. You know, they're fine. They're going to be okay. They're perfectly happy with their old way of doing things. And that's what it is. They're set in their ways, trying to change that. I have found that the only actual way to change it, and don't misquote me here. Don't take me, I guess the words would be out of context. Don't take me out of context here. But I have found that the only way to successfully really change somebody's direction change somebody's path is by force. And I don't mean physical force. I mean just blunt force trauma, just blunt force. These are the facts. This is what it is. It's not going to fucking change. And then having a consequence at the end for not following the instruction, not following the instructions, right? And that's one of the verses that we pulled up was right here. I'm just showing you the similarities here and why it is the way it is right here. So he says, all scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, and then right here, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of God may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. So the instructions for not following the instructions, making sure there is some sort of a consequence, right? For us, for our group, for what I do, you're either going to go by the Bible, right? Where you're either going to trust the book, or I'm just not going to have you, like, you're just not going to be a part of my life. You're not going to be a part of my ministry. You're not going to be, I'm not, and even then, everybody that I roll with, we all consider each other equals. Everybody's an equal. If somebody's got a problem with something I'm doing, we talk it out. I've got no issues with this. Well, Kevin, I welcome you to come up here and discuss it with me. Right? I can't take the mark of the beast. I won't even be here for that. That's for sinners. I can't sin. I'm saved. So at the end of the day, what I'm showing you is the similarities here is when met with the facts, every single one of these individuals, and there's a couple more to go, every single one of these individuals deflected. They all deflected. It's not about them. They can drive drunk and they'll be fine. They've been fine their whole lives with what they've got going on. But the fact was the law was changing. And the facts are that 13,000 people got into a fatal car accident the year before to make them put that law into effect. And every one of them now became part of the problem.
It's fair. But normally next week I wouldn't go to that extent. I've had 4 pints. So I shall keep down to 3 pints. Fair enough.
Do you think you really will keep to 3 pints?
Yes, I can manage on that. I can enjoy my evening on 3 pints of beer.
Drunken drivers should be off the road. But when they can convince me that passing that test, such as you've done now, that you're drunk and not fit to drive a car, I think it's a lot of...
You know what I find funny? You are not my friend, Kevin. You literally just came in here and said, I'm the type of guy that's going to take the mark of the beast. Who are you to call me friend? You're not my friend. And if you still sin, you're of the devil. That's the truth. Here, let's show him some facts. Let's give you a live example of this. That's great. Right here. 1 John 3:8. See right there? He that committeth sin is of the devil, for the devil sinneth from the beginning. If you still sin, then that's who you serve. I can't sin, I'm saved. Whosoever is born of God doth not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin because he's born of God. So, like the guy in the video, right? Like the guy in the video going up to these guys. And the reason he's doing this with these people is to show them, this is going to be the law come Monday. You're out here drinking and driving. There's 13,000 fatal accidents. Should you really be drinking and driving? And all these guys are getting in their car, driving away drunk. Kevin's going to get in the car and he's going to drive away drunk today. I can't defile the temple of God. And how can you sit there? And here's a good question. And I want every real believer that's watching this, I want you to write this verse down, and I want you to remember this so that if you smoke cigarettes, look at it, he just condemned every cigarette smoker in the world to hell. That's what Kevin just did. He just condemned every cigarette smoker, everybody that smokes weed, everybody that does anything. He just condemned them all to hell, said they can't be saved because they're defiling the temple with smoke. Right? This is what this Kevin guy just did. This is what happens when you deal with hypocrites, right? Hypocrites who judge. So let me see here. It should be Revelation 19. I want to make sure that this is the one it is. That's Revelation 15:8. Okay, that's the one I was looking for. Beautiful. Remember this right here. And the temple was filled with smoke from the glory of God. What? So God filled his own temple with smoke. Are you going to say he defiled his temple too? And the temple was filled with smoke from the glory of God and from his power, and no man was able to enter into the temple until the 7 plagues of the 7 angels were fulfilled. So, God filled his temple with smoke too. I wonder. Oh, yeah, that's right. Jesus reconciled all things, and I can't sin because Jesus reconciled all things. I can't sin, Kevin. If you still sin, then you're of the devil. That's the facts, dude. It's right there. God filled his own temple with smoke. So before you judge me, hypocrite, you might want to look in the mirror, man. Hypocrites. And when faced with the facts, look at what Kevin's doing. That's how he does it. He wants to shove the blame, try and point to something that he thinks is a flaw with me. That's not a flaw. It's no flaw at all. I'm not flawed at all. Christ made me perfect on the cross, just like he did for Kevin, but Kevin won't accept that because he'd rather drink and drive. It doesn't matter what it's from. It's from God's glory. Cigarettes, my glory. Right? I sit here, I smoke cigarettes, I'm known for it. Okay. That's what makes me me. It's part of who I am. It's been a part of my life for most of my life. So what? Who cares? Jesus reconciled all things unto the pure, all things are pure. I can't sin. So, and this is what's ugly. What's really ugly is not that I smoke, it's that this person's so bitter and so nasty that he would condemn every cigarette smoker to hell. But the next time he jerks off, I guess that's okay, right? Hypocrites. Fucking hypocrites. That's all they are. Hypocrites. And every time he sins, he serves the devil. I can't sin, I'm saved. I invite you, Kevin. You're more than welcome to come up here. More than welcome to reach out to me on a personal level. That's not arrogant. I can't sin, I'm saved. What's arrogant about that? I'm saved. That's what salvation is being free from sin. That's what the Bible says. How is that arrogant? Or am I being arrogant, or are you just being ignorant and not listening to what the Bible says? I think that's more likely. Romans 6:18 right here. Being then made free from sin, you become the servants of righteousness. I'm a servant of righteousness. I can't sin. It's physically impossible. I'm saved. There's no arrogance about it. There's no pride about it. It's just telling you the facts, showing you the facts. And then what you do with it is up to you. Personally, I feel like you're just going to get in the car and drink and drive like these guys did when confronted with the fact that they were drunk and it was about to be illegal. But I'm going to return to the rest of this, and then we can come back to this in a minute.
Cock. But you could drive a coach and horses through the present act.
Why do you reckon you can do that?
Because you can go in and refuse to take the blood test. The breathalyzer is not the ultimate conviction. You can go through and take a blood. You can go into the station. They'll ask for a blood test. You refuse that. You take a urine test. They wait an hour. They have to throw the first sample away. You wait another hour. Then you refuse to take the urine sample and say you'll take the blood test. If you take the blood test, then your blood alcohol will have dropped by at least 30 or 40, whatever it happens to be. I forget, milligrams or something.
You seem very well informed on the law, so you're going to carry on drinking as before, are you?
Yes, I've read the Act, and I've made sure in advance that I know exactly what I'm in for, anyway.
What's your job?
I'm a law student.
I don't agree with the law, but I shall take notice of it because I don't want to lose my license for a year. Or, as the case might be, whatever the penalty is.
What do you think your chances of getting away with it are?
Well, I don't think they bring laws in that you can get away with anything today. I mean, 70-mile-an-hour limit, and I think, as far as I'm concerned, Mrs. Castle wants to drive people off the road.
Got my keys back.
Okay, so you guys get the idea. When confronted with the facts, all they did was deflect, blame other people. All they did was dance around it. They never wanted to face the fact that A, they were just drunk. B, it was going to be illegal. C, they shouldn't be drinking and driving. They never wanted to accept those things. Those three things. None of them. The lawyer kid, he's like, well, I know how to get around it. I'll just drink, drive, get pulled over, and go through this, loop the system. And then the one guy's like, oh, what do you sound very well informed. He said, I should be. I'm a law student, right? It's the same thing with preaching the gospel to people today. When you show them 1 John 3:8, they would rather blame somebody else. They would rather bet against the verse being correct. They would rather try and find another way around it than just accept that it means exactly what it says. The hardest part is just accepting that it means what it says. And as soon as you do that, the easier it is to help you. The easier it is for someone like me to help you get through it. The sooner you just accept that it means what it says, the better off you will be. He that committeth sin is of the devil, for the devil sinneth from the beginning. If you are somebody watching this and you still sin, you have a problem now. Because I'm showing it to you. I'm telling you it means exactly what it says. But on the back end of things, I'm not doing what the guy in the video was doing. I'm offering you the solution, the full solution, right? Immunity from the law. And that's what I'm offering you, immunity from the law. That guy, he couldn't offer that to those people. I can. I'm offering you immunity to the law. And that's what the gospel is immunity to the law. That is what the gospel is immunity to the law. And that's Romans 6:14. We are under grace. We're not under the law. That's what Jesus came to die for. He came to die to give you immunity to the law, to make you perfect on that cross. And that's what I show people, right? I was made perfect on the cross by the blood of Christ. Flawless. Perfect. I have no problems. Literally my entire life. I have no problems. I have a lot of shit going on at any given time. Sure. 20 grand in legal fees. Sure. I'm in court all the fucking time over it. Sure. I get fucking death threats and people calling the ABC people on me all the time. It happens. But I'm perfect. Mentally fit, mentally stable, rock solid, standing on a sure foundation. And I know the Bible inside and out. It's my entire life. So the reality of it is, he that committeth sin is of the devil. That fact isn't going to change based on your willingness to accept it or not. And that is what I was trying to show you, that the people in that video, they wouldn't accept. The law was coming. They wouldn't accept that. They made excuses for themselves. Everything they could to not have to face that fact. This is the fact. The sooner you accept it, the better off you'll be. It just is what it is. So, Brunette, I really thought you'd get a kick out of that video. I did. I watched it and I was like, no shit. This is perfect. I was like, that's the perfect way to show you guys. It's natural for people to reject it. It's only natural. They're going to, because they've had people brainwashing them their entire lives in order to get something from them, right? You go to the heathen building, the church or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You go to the heathen building and they sell you whatever you want to hear so that you'll put the money in the plate. And you get accustomed to that over generations, right? Your mom's, dad's dad, whatever, have been going to these heathen buildings for 1,000 years, and then you're brought up in it. And so this is just, it's a generational thing. And you've been accustomed to the feel good once a week and then the sin, repent, repeat cycle. If you still sin, you're of the devil. It's time to break that cycle. That's it. It's just time to break that cycle. The video is very accurate. Very accurate. If you sin, you're of the devil. There is a way around it. If you choose to stay a sinner, if you choose to sin, then the next time you sin, you prove who you serve. There's no, and if you're wondering if you're going to go to heaven or not, now you have your answer. And it's not me telling you. It's the Bible. It's the Bible. And that's all I'm ever going to go by. That's all I ever have gone by. That's what this channel is all about. and I sit and read the whole book with you. I've got no problem with that. I will, do whatever it takes to get somebody saved. And that brings me to the next part of this, where I kind of explain what's been going on to me for the last year. So, as most of you know, a few years ago, I put my entire family on the line. Well, I've always had my entire family on the line. We lived in a really decent trailer park. I mean, trailer park's just a trailer park, mobile home community, whatever you fucking want to call it. We lived in a really decent place, sort of. And once I got converted, right? Once my family knew, once it was all out in the open, once I figured it out, I found some verses. And this is something that I don't know why. It's just something I feel was necessary for me. Right here, Deuteronomy chapter 6, 4 through 8. I already have what I saw. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. When I read this the first time, I was already doing this. I was already doing it. That's all I talk about. It's all I do. When I say the Bible is my entire life, I mean from the minute I wake up to the minute I go to bed. This is what I do. And it's been that way. So, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and thou shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand and thine eyes, and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes. It should be like eyelids. The Bible should be like eyelids in front of you. Like you should always be in it. And thou shalt write them upon the posts of thy house and on thy gates. And that's what I did. So we lived in this trailer park community, and I wrote the verse directly on my house. I wrote Ephesians 2:15, having abolished in his flesh. Let's go to it. And having abolished in his flesh the enmity, even the law of commandments contained in ordinances. Right here, Ephesians 2:15. Having abolished in his flesh the enmity, even the commandments contained in ordinances, for to make in himself of twain one new man, so making peace. I had wrote this on my house, on the actual trailer itself. And the part came through and they said, you can't do that. They said, you can't write it on the house. And so I said, okay, well, I'm going to have it outside my house. How do you want to negotiate this? And we all came to a big agreement that they would leave us alone if I just put it on a whiteboard and left it at that. Well, I put it on a whiteboard. And then I put 1 John 3:8 on the whiteboard. And I put John 8:34 on the whiteboard. And I put 1 John 3:6 on the whiteboard. And I put all the heavy hitters on the whiteboard. 1 John 3:8 was the one that did the damage, right? This is the one the neighbors started complaining about. He that committeth sin is of the devil, for the devil sinneth from the beginning. When I put this on the whiteboard, the neighbors started complaining. The part came back. You need to take them down. I told them they can go fuck themselves. And then I didn't just put it on the whiteboard. I put it on the back of our car too. I've got a big decal on the back of our Navigator. It's 1 John 3:6. I went and added it because that's my right. That's my right. I don't care who tells me you can't do it. Well, that's happening. So, and that's not going to change. And needless to say, it turned into this massive legal battle. I filed charges with the Illinois Department of Human Rights. It got nasty. They sued us. We won. We won the lawsuit. They ended up paying us. We lost our house. That was the agreement. They wanted us gone because of the verses. We lost our house over it, and that was rough. that was rough. You know, for a few days, I thought me and all our kids, we've got 5 children that live with us, 6 if I count my son, who's an every other weekender. I thought we were going to be homeless, and turns out we ended up getting a 10 times better spot, you know, and we've been there ever since. But we lost the house over it. We lost a lot. We went through a lot. We had, you know, neighbors calling DCFS, making false reports on us. We had family calling DCFS, making false reports on us. We had all of this shit go down, right? I was getting interrogated by detectives. We had so much shit over the Bible, just from the Bible. And we ended up losing the house. But we got a 10 times better place, way bigger house. For still to this day, we're still paying $50 less a month to live where we're at now than we were when we were there. And so it worked out for us. It worked out fucking great. A year ago, I never stopped preaching. I never ever stopped preaching. I'm never going to, right? The Bible is the truth no matter what you do. The Bible is the truth. And now videos proving all that. I mean, I've got security videos from the police showing up at my house trying to evict me, where the cop even says it's because the sign. Do I have it in here? Ooh, if I have it on here, I'll play it. I don't think I have it on here anymore, though. No, I don't. Okay, good. Even better that way. But either way, I've got videos of everything. I documented everything. I have all the paperwork on everything. So, you know, we moved here. It's in my lease. My landlord, it's in my lease. I can have my verses outside. I've got them outside now with a big light on them. If you Google Earth my address, you will see 1 John 3:8. I think it's 1 John 3:8 right now. You will see it on the whiteboard outside of our house today. So, and we get it every year. We manage to, when the car comes by, we manage to get it every year. It stays up year round, and we change out the verses every couple of weeks or once a month or whatever. It's a big deal for my family. Like, this is something we enjoy doing. We love it. We write the verses on the post of our house, not because we have to, but because that's what a believer does, right? My job is to preach the gospel. I'm going to preach the gospel no matter how uncomfortable it makes you. And I have at least 3 to 5 people per year, I would say minimum, that come knock on the door specifically because of the verse sign. And that's part of my ministry. I enjoy it. Last year, my son came to me and asked me to present the gospel to his mother because he knows the truth. He knows the truth. He can't change that. He knows it either. And I told him I wasn't really comfortable doing it because I had already tried without him knowing about it, and she had rejected it. But it was really important to him. It was really, really important to him. And so I agreed to it, and I presented it to her. And I offered, you know, everything, as much as I could possibly. I'm like, I will give you whatever you want to sit down and go through this with me and Oliver. It's very important to him. And she rejected it, shot him down, then stole his Bible. And that's a documented fact. She admits it. She stole his Bible from him that I had given him, where he had all of his notes, all the work he put in. She stole it from him. And then started falsely accusing my family, and then forced him to do the same thing. And so we've been through, in the last year, we've been through 3 or 4 DCFS investigations, all based on false accusations. All of them found false. All of them are closed now. All of them, everything false. The reports are filed with DCFS as filed intentionally false. This is somebody that set out to destroy my life. I haven't been able to see my son for a year because of it. And it all boils down to the Bible study, trying to get her to do the Bible study and teaching my kid the Bible. Everybody knows, well, not everybody knows, but if you're interested in what caused it, there's a Bible study on here on my channel. I'll just show it to you. It's easier that way. Where is my channel at in the grand scheme of things? Okay, we're just going to go to it. So if anybody's interested at all, this is the video that caused it right here. Where is it? It was with, oh, I did do it live. Never mind. It's not under videos, it's under the live. There's so much on here. Where is it? I sat down and I had my son and all my kids. It was just me and my kids. We did a whole Bible study. Where is it? I gotta find it. Hang on. So I want to show you. It's the book of Colossians. We read the entire book of Colossians while we were live. At least I was pretty sure we were live. Yeah, no, never mind. It is under videos. My bad. It is under videos. Ooh, it's a lot older than I thought it was. Right there. Kids and the Bible. Teach your children the Bible. This is how. Right here. 228 views exactly a year ago. Funny how they go hand in hand, right? 1 year ago, the Bible study followed with the false accusations and all the bullshit, right? Because I showed my son how to see through his rotten ass mother. And he went home and he confronted her with it. And then ever since then, I haven't been allowed to see him. So we won the court case. She folded like a fucking napkin the other day. She got caught on all her bullshit. We had what's called a guardian ad litem, which was a separate lawyer. She didn't have an attorney. I paid for an attorney, but there's a separate attorney to represent the child. The guardian ad litem report says there's no evidence of any wrongdoing on my end whatsoever. There's no evidence of it. He's like, it doesn't mean it didn't happen, but he's also just vying. It's like they just refused to accept the fucking facts. But there was no evidence of any wrongdoing on my end. But she got caught on all her shit, on all of it, all the way down to stealing the Bible from my son. And so she folded up like a napkin instead of fighting it now and agreed to everything. So I will begin seeing my son again within the next month or two. It's kind of a process I got to go through, but whatever, the process is the process. The Bible came up in court. I mean, obviously that's the sole thing that I've been really in court for the last year. And just as the explanation to you guys, that's kind of why I've been stepped away from, I can't say stepped away from YouTube so much as just not as much. I've been doing things on a much more personal level with people, and just keeping my mind clear and focused to deal with that. And we had trial Tuesday and I won, or Wednesday, and I won. I mean, I guess you can call it a win. That's for Oliver. That is for damn sure. But I won. There's no, it just is what it is. It's a motherfucker. It's really just a motherfucker. Because the minute you show people whether they're going to heaven or not, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to show you, right? I've always said, and you can look at any of my videos going all the way back. That's what sets us apart here. That's what sets this channel apart from everybody else. I don't tell people they're going to hell. I show them. I'm not here to judge you. I don't care what you do. Jesus reconciled all things. He made you perfect on the cross. I'm just here to show you how that works. If you choose not to believe it, if you choose to believe you sin, if you choose to keep calling yourself a sinner, then you prove who you serve. I can't sin. I'm free from the law, free from condemnation, free from all of it. I can't sin. I'm perfect. Jesus, the law made nothing perfect. The bringing in of a better hope did. Hebrews chapter 7, verse 19. And that's what we show people here. So that's what I've been dealing with. And in fact, Brunette, she actually went to some of the court dates. She'll tell you. She's seen some of the paperwork too. Most of it, actually. All the shit kicking off with it. She saw all of it. I sent it all to her for proofreads. But yeah, that's what it is. So I put everything on the line. I put my family, my home, my children. I put everything on the line last year again. And I do it every day. I'm doing it right now. I'm putting my family on the line. I'm risking it all to tell the truth. Risking it all to tell the truth. And I have no problem doing that. The problem I have is when I do this with people and they won't listen. You judge me. They judge me based on looks and their assumptions instead of based on, the verses. And that's, if you go by the verses, that's all I ask from anybody is that you just go by the verses. It's not me telling you, it's the Bible, right? I'm not telling you you're going to hell if you sin. The Bible says that. That's what I'm going by. He that committeth sin is of the devil. That's it. You're not getting out of it. There's no other way around it. There's no, like you saw in the video, the kid is like, oh yeah, I'll do this and do this. And if you just wait this long and then it'll go down by 30% or 30, whatever he called it. There's none of that. It's not negotiable. And I find that is the best position to negotiate this with somebody from is that it's not negotiable. Blunt force trauma. And I say that not in a physical sense. I say that in a stupid wake up kind of sense. You know what I mean? If you're in a car with somebody and they're driving, let's say you guys are on a road trip. You guys are on a road trip together. Picture you and your family in a car. There we go. So you got husband, wife. Let's say average people got 2 kids. You got a husband, wife, and 2 kids in the car. Wife is the one driving. Wife starts falling asleep at the wheel. Do you think the husband's just going to be like, oh, honey, do you think maybe you could wake up, please? Or do you think he's going to be like, wake up? Like, what are you going to do in that situation? And I would say that this preaching the gospel is to be done from the wake up point of view, because that's the only way they're going to wake up. That's it. And it's just blunt force. Make them face the facts. As long as you're not doing anything stupid, you got nothing to worry about, right? For the last year, I've put the videos in the field. Like every time DCFS shows up at my house, I'll generally put the videos in with the little crew that we got and let people see what I'm going through for this. In the last year, we've had DCFS show up at my house randomly. The latest one was at 10 o'clock at night. I've never seen that happen before. They showed up at 10, they showed up at 8, they showed up at 6, they showed up at 10 a.m., 7 a.m., and or it's like 7:30 in the morning, and then another one at like 8:30. So like 6 or 7 times we've had DCFS show up at my house randomly throughout the last year, trying to catch us doing something wrong. But there's nothing. Like literally all we do is Bible. And it's just we go by the verses. To anybody that thinks that this verse is wrong, this is where this comes in. I get called a lot of things. I get told that my family's a cult, right? I hear that at least 80 times a day. You're a cult. No, we're not a cult. Find me a cult that gives you money and gives you a Bible. Find me a cult that you don't have to give everything that you own to. Find me a cult that you don't have to live with. Find me a fucking cult that does what we do. You won't. We're not a cult. I go by the same book that you have in your house. If you have a King James Bible, if you have any Bible, really, I can show you the truth in it. I go by the same book you have, right? I'm going to show you the same verses from my book that are in your book. We have the same book. We should speak the same things if you're a believer. If you're not a believer, then you're not going to speak the same things because you're not going to line up with the Bible. And that makes you in the cult, not me. And that's what the heathen buildings are. That's what the churches are. Those are the cults. Those are the buildings filled with sinners serving sin, going once a week and lying to themselves and playing pretend. That's the cult. Anybody that sins is of the devil. That's the cult. There's no difference between sinners. Whether you're a Muslim, a fake Jew, or a fake Christian, if you sin, you're of the devil. You're all in the same cult. You call yourself different names, but you're all in the same cult. Real believers can't sin. Real believers line up with the Bible, and they make it their life's mission to line up with the entire Bible, and it's not hard to do. It just takes time. It takes a little effort, and it takes a whole hell of a lot of reading. And if you believe it, if you believe If you really believe that the Bible is the Word of God, then that should not be a problem for you to do. It should not be a problem at all for you to do. But at the end of the day, the truth is the truth. Just like in that video, the truth is the truth. What is it? 3 days later, the law was going to be into effect. 13,000 people died the year before. Drinking and driving was illegal. The facts did not change in that video just because the people refused to accept them. The facts were still the facts. And I'm guessing that many of those people from that video probably went on to get DUIs or kill people or worse, die in their own accident. I'm guessing that it happened to at least a few of them. Just like I'm guessing that most of the people that watch this will just write me off. But for those of you that don't, I want you to know I am here to help you. I am here to serve you. But I'm here to tell you the truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God, and that's it. That's all I'm going to do. What is the passage that made it all click for me? Romans 14:23. That was the verse that did it for me. That was the final pin. Whatsoever is not of faith is sin. So if everything is of faith, then nothing is sin. And Jesus reconciled all things. But it was that verse in conjunction with the rest of the book. It was that verse in conjunction with the rest of the book. I spent 4 months at 18 hours a day reading it over and over and over, taking notes. And then I sat down one day and was like, okay, this is what it is. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, it all just clicked. And boom. It was in an instant. I understood the whole thing. And I was like, holy fuck, this is what it is. So the Bible, the gospel, the Bible, the whole book, dude, the whole book. King James only. I only go by the book, man. He that committeth sin is of the devil, for the devil sinneth from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. Whosoever is born of God doth not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin because he's born of God. That's what I have. Reborn. And then there's that side of the coin too, right? When you're saved, you know you're saved. When you're saved, it's in your bones. When you're saved, you have no doubts. You know you line up. When you're saved, you go to bed knowing you're saved. You wake up knowing you're saved. No doubts. Never having turned your back. Never having ran from it. Having risked it all. Having made full proof of your ministry. That's what I have. That's where I sit. And my job is to just help others get there. That's it. That's all I'm offering. And it costs you nothing. What's the difference between what in Romans 10:9? Between which verse? That if thou shalt confess, yeah. Okay, confess with thy mouth and shall what? Right here. Believe in thine heart that God hath raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. If you still sin, then you don't believe. Right? You have to follow the instructions, man. That's what this verse was. 2 Timothy chapter 3. Verse 16 and 17. All scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, and for instruction in righteousness. For the instructions, that the man of God may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. If you don't follow the instructions, then you don't believe them. If you still sin, then you don't line up with the instructions. I know I'm saved because I know the book. I know his word. His word is in me. Simply because of faith. But my faith is coupled with my works. Faith without works is dead. But the works you're thinking of are not the same as what James was talking about. Kevin, I'll put it to you like this. If you're interested, in the description is the study. The very same study. Okay? And it's all Bible verses, and it walks you through the whole thing. do it. Do it. Make sure you finish it. Or serve sin for the rest of your life. Those are your options. Those are your options. I'm here to help you. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm not your enemy, even though I may seem like a hard man, and I am, but it's only for your benefit. Do the study, finish it, and then talk to me about it. Same study. I went through the New Testament like in between 4 and 8 different times before it clicked, before I was able to finally see the bigger picture. And that's what the Bible is all about. Paul told you that some things are hard to be understood. It takes work. You could read. I made it very simple for you. I made it very, very simple for you. 2 minutes to explain it. What would you say? I would say Jesus reconciled all things. There is no sin. His death freed you from the law. If you're not under the law, then you can't break the law. If you can't break the law, then you can't sin, because sin is breaking the law. But it goes even deeper than that. It goes even deeper than that. It takes it down to the knowledge of good and evil, and Jesus got rid of that too. So, because you weren't supposed to ever eat off that tree to begin with, he made it so it's like I never ate off that tree. Common sense still exists. If you touch fire, you get burned. Follow man's laws. Man's laws are put there by God. Colossians chapter 1. So you have to believe. You have to believe, but you have to make sure that what you believe is according to the instructions. Because if your beliefs don't match what the Bible says, then your beliefs are wrong. The Bible is still right. That's it. It's very, very, very simple. Kevin, do the study. Reach out to me. I'd rather do it on a personal level, and that too is what I'm coming up here to tell everybody. Is that YouTube? Yes, I will still be doing this. Yes, I'm going to be doing Chronicles this week. We'll be doing a whole bunch of shit coming up. But as far as arguing it out on here, unless it's set up in advance and you're coming up here and we're talking, or if you want, I'll send you the link right now. Unless it's something like that, I prefer to do this personally so that it's so I don't know how to word this. I'm not here to hurt you, and I don't want you to feel that I'm attacking you, because I'm not. I'm just showing you. And I mean, once you just accept that it just means what it says, you'll be all right. If you have that ability. I showed the video that I showed tonight to show you that most people don't have that ability. 99.9999999% of people are not self-aware enough to recognize when they're wrong. They don't want to. They're stuck in their ways, and it's easier for me to break those bad habits with you on a personal level than it is for me to do it with you publicly, because publicly you're going to feel like I'm attacking you, and I'm not. I'm not trying to. But it is my job to cast down imaginations and destroy anything that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, and that's what I do. It's more beneficial for you if you keep it private, and that's for your benefit, not for mine. Believe the truth, man. Believe the verses. That's it. It's just a set of verses. It's like 60 verses. I'll walk you through, talk about them all. But I just, the study's in the description for anybody that wants it. It's there. Jesus did it. He made you perfect on a cross. You just got to figure it out. Seek him with all your heart. I'm here to help you. And that's really that, man. That is really it for tonight. I don't have much else. That's where I've been. It's been a good year. It's been a really good year. It's coming to a close. I've got hopefully a lot in store for next year. I haven't been doing much woodshop. Obviously, it's winter now. I thought I was going to be out there a lot during the winter, but it's just really cold. And the garage heater is not as fast as I wish it was. And don't buy propane tanks from gas stations, man. They rip you off. I bought a gauge. I found out every time we're buying a propane tank at the gas station, you're only getting a half full tank. And that's not convenient either for me. So I've just been doing a lot of Bible and a lot of working with people on a personal level. And it's probably where it's going to stay. So anybody else got anything? If you got questions, I'll gladly answer them. But they're all going to be it just is what it is. Jesus doesn't lie, right? And that's the big thing. Oh, and I didn't do it in the beginning. So for 4.5 years now, well, a little over 4 years, I've had the YouTube channel. And for those 4 years, I've ran the very same verse across the bottom of the screen for 4 years. And it's John 8:34. Jesus doesn't lie. And this is a question, I ask people all the time too. They'll be like, they always call me a liar. Everybody always wants to call me a liar, but it's not my words. I'm giving you his words and saying they just mean what they say, right? So right here, Jesus answered them, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever commits sin is the whosoever commits sin is the servant of sin. Jesus answered them, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin. If you sin, you are the servant of sin. You cannot serve two masters. This whole show, my only goal has been to show you the problem and offer you the solution. If you still sin, then you still have the problem. You don't have the solution. If you still sin, you've never been saved. You've never even been close to it. If you still sin, you're still a sinner. You still need the Savior. If you have it in you to recognize that and you want the solution, I'm here to help you. If you think you're going to do it another way, then keep serving sin for the rest of your life and see how it works out for you. But I'm telling you right now that if you still sin, you are hammered driving, and it's not going to end well for you. There is no heaven for sinners at all. You cannot be a sinner and a saint at the same time. It doesn't exist. I don't care how many suit and tie dummies tell you it does. It does not. Jesus does not lie. Whoever sins is the servant of sin. Paul Washer, John MacArthur, Gene Kim, Robert Breaker, Ray Comfort, all of them are of the devil. Whoever sins is of the devil. You want to find out, and here, for the people that don't know, you don't have any knowledge of it, great. Go around to the people that are closest to you tonight and start asking people, do you sin? Do you sin? Do you sin? Go to the people, the atheists. Go ask them, do they sin? Right? And then take it a step further. Go the extra step. James chapter 4, verse 17. You want to prove to an atheist that they do believe in God, even when they swear they don't? This verse right here. You ask them, do you sin? They'll say, no, sin's a God thing. I don't believe in sin. Right. Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. So having the knowledge to do good and then doing it not, that's sin, right? So if you ask an atheist, do you sin? And they say no, well, ask them if they ever do anything that they think is wrong. And they'll say, of course, everybody does. Wrong. Right? Believers don't have that problem. Real believers don't have that problem. It's unto the pure, all things are pure for a believer. So, where did they get that knowledge from? Ask the atheist. Where did they get the knowledge of good and evil from? If it didn't come from Adam and Eve eating off that tree, where did that knowledge come from? There's only one place it could have come from, and that is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And so the gospel erases that. I'm here to show you that. It just is what it is. John 8:36 is the solution to 34. Yeah. If you get set free, you're free. I'm free. I'm one of those. I'm free. I cannot sin. That's what I'm offering you, Kevin. What you do with it is up to you. And it's free. It costs you nothing, man. I'll even send you a beautiful Bible. If you do the study with me personally, I'll send you a gorgeous Bible. Gorgeous. Maybe I'll even throw in one of the boxes. I build these things. Wood. Solid wood Bible box. Maybe I'll even throw in one of those. Reach out to me in the comments, man. Set something up. Or just do the study. It's in the description. Every question that you could possibly ask, the answer is on this channel already. In depth. In depth. And in the beginning of the show, I showed you guys where the playlists are on my channel. There's New Testament read-alongs, Old Testament read-alongs, prophet read-alongs. It's time for you to read the Bible, man. Stop listening to sinners. Stop listening to YouTube. Stop listening to TV and start listening to the book and what the book says. He that committeth sin is of the devil. If you can accept that, you should have no problem getting through the rest of it. But it's really easy. Jesus just paid for it all. He just really is that good. It really is that easy. So with all that, I'm going to wrap this up. I love y'all. I will see you in a couple of days. We're going to get Chronicles up here and get doing on the rest of these books. I've only got, I think, Chronicles through Ezra. I think is where I've got Chronicles first, second. No, Chronicles through Esther. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books to go, and then the whole Bible's on here, except for Daniel and Revelation. I have not put those on here. I may or may not. I'm leaning towards yes on Revelation, no on Daniel. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. Part of me, I just feel like, if you want those answers, you should have to earn them yourself. I did, so I don't see why you shouldn't have to either. But it is what it is. I love y'all. I salute the brethren, the real ones. I'm glad you guys are doing good. Are you going to heaven if you still sin? The answer is no. And it's not me telling you that. It's the Bible, and I'm just going to go by that. And I have the solution for you if you want it. Whether, I just don't know what to tell you guys. It's up to you. It's up to you. I love y'all. Enjoy your night. I'll see you sooner than later. Take it easy. Lord willing, of course. Adios.